Hey Boos, it's Chandi. I'm so glad you're here today because we're gonna be knitting coffee cozies. I'm gonna show you two different kinds. These are really simple and you can whip them out pretty quickly so you can make a whole bunch for your friends in no time. These are great because instead of using a billion of those little cardboard ones, you're gonna be making Mother Earth happy and you're gonna be saving your little fingers from getting burned, so win-win. I like using mine on coffee. I have 1 cup of Half-Caff with almond milk every day. Most of my family drinks it, and whenever I go home to see my mom, we always sit for hours every morning and we drink our coffee and we fix all the problems of the world, and I know I'm always gonna have those memories. And now, whether we go to Starbucks or whether we make our own at home, my hubby and I both have our little cup every day, and it's our special bonding time for us in the mornings. And so I wanted to share these coffee cozy patterns with you. You're gonna need worsted weight yarn, size US 8, 5.0 millimeter needles, either straights or circulars, some buttons, and a needle and thread for sewing on your button. The yarn I'm using today is our Luster worsted yarn. It has a nice shine to it because it's half superwash merino wool and half tencel. What that means is it has a nice little glow to it. And you can wash this, it's gonna hold up well to lots of use, and it's gonna be really soft when you're holding it. Go ahead and wind your yarn into a ball, and I have a tutorial on how to do that in case you need to watch that, and then let's go ahead and get started. The first pattern we're gonna be doing today is seed stitch. Begin by casting on 12 stitches using the long tail cast on method. If you need help on how to cast on or how to work the seed stitch, I have videos on that, so you can go check those out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Row 1, you're gonna knit 1, purl 1, and repeat that across. Okay, let's begin. Go ahead and begin by knitting 1. Then you bring the yarn to the front and you purl 1. Yarn to the back and knit 1. Yarn to the front, purl 1. Then just repeat that all the way across. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. Row 1 is done. Row number 2 is the opposite. So you're gonna start by purling 1 and then knitting 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1 across. When you're starting a row by purling 1, you wanna make sure your yarn is in the front. Work your purl stitch. Yarn to the back, knit 1. Yarn to the front, purl 1, yarn to the back, knit 1, and repeat all the way across. Then you're going to repeat those 2 rows until your piece measures approximately 9 inches in length. Go ahead and finish up. Once you have about 9 inches, we're gonna start working a little buttonhole. The buttonhole is created with 2 rows. Row 1, you're going to knit in pattern 6 stitches, bind off 2, and then in pattern, finish the final 4 stitches of that row. All right, so to work the first 6 in pattern, I am on a row where I start with a purl. So I'll go ahead and purl 1, knit 1, so that's 2. Purl 1, knit 1, that's 4, purl 1, knit 1, that's 6. So then you're gonna bind off 2 stitches. You can just do them as knit bind offs or you can do them in pattern. Either way, I'm gonna keep it simple and just do knit bind offs. So knit the next stitch and take this stitch that's over here and pull it off. So you've bound off 1 stitch, and then again, knit the next stitch. Take this one and pull it off, so you've bound off 2. Then you're gonna complete the last 4 stitches in pattern. So purl, knit, purl, knit. And so you should have 5 stitches a hole, and 5 stitches. Row number 2 of the buttonhole is you're going to work the first 5 stitches in pattern, cast on 2 stitches, and then work the 5 remaining stitches in pattern. You work the first 5 stitches in pattern. I'm on a row where you start with a knit, and if you are confused about how to keep things in pattern, you're going to be knitting every time you see these little bumps. You work knit stitches into those. So knit, purl, knit, purl, and knit. Then you're going to cast on 2 stitches. You can use whatever type of cast on you like. I'm going to do a cable cast on, so insert the left needle between those 2 stitches. Wrap your yarn around and pull that through. Give that a little tug. Line your needles up like so, and then place that loop onto that needle and do it one more time. Insert your left needle in between those first 2 stitches. Wrap your yarn around, pull it back through, and then place that onto that needle. Then continue working your row in pattern across. So purl, knit, purl, knit, and purl. And you have a hole. The final 4 rows, you're going to repeat rows 1 and 2 2 more times. Then you're going to bind off all stitches in pattern. To bind off in pattern, just continue working like you were, knit, purl in the pattern that you were doing it in, but bind off as you go. All right, for me, since this is a row, I would have started with a knit, and remember you knit all the little bumps. So I begin with a knit stitch, go ahead and work the second stitch, which is a purl. Once you have 2 stitches, bind one off. So take that second stitch in, boop, plop it over that one, and continue on. This is a knit stitch, so I knit it, bind off, purl, bind off, knit, bind off, purl, bind off, knit, bind off, and continue that all the way across. And finally purl and bind off, and you're done. Once you're done, cut your tails, weave in your ends, and sew on your button on the opposite side of your hole. So that's how you make this seed stitch version.